I rewatched Tropic Thunder for the maybe fourth or fifth time tonight with my dad and little brother, and it's still very funny. Even though a lot of that stuff is extremely inappropriate and controversial by today's standards. Even at the time, it was very controversial, if I remember correctly. Even with all that stuff, it's a very funny movie, and it's such a good parody of all the like cliched types of actors and specific things that that Hollywood is ridden with. Tom Cruise playing the like dickhead producer is just like like that cares about nothing other than money and the power and whatever the hell. And also all the other Robert Downey Jr. being this hardcore method actor who literally I forget that it's like not just makeup. Like in the movie, he literally like gets a surgery to like to be African American. Jack Black playing that Chris Farley, Chris Farley meets Eddie Murphy type, essentially, where his movies are basically what the Nutty Professor series was, and then his drugs and drinking and hardcore partying or whatever, like that type, that John Belushi, Chris Farley type, obviously. So and then Ben Stiller's like a action star wanting to be taken seriously as an actor. It's like all that stuff is so like if you watch a lot of movies, or if you watch a lot, like if you're so aware of how that stuff is, and just how ridiculous actors can be in general, period. Like it's very funny. It's very funny with how honest it is with all that stuff. There are not a lot of movies where you get to see Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface as well as have a conversation with Ben Stiller about, what the Academy thinks of of taking the role of a mentally challenged character too far, or like however not only the type of character you're playing, but like just like they're literally talking about like how do you play a mentally challenged person but in a tasteful way that can be taken seriously. And yes, I'll say it, never going full retard, essentially, is what they say in what he tells him. And I Am Sam is the funniest fucking movie to bring that up, to like compare that with, or what basically what they're what the point of that conversation is about, because that is like the number one. I mean, Sean Penn is that character is so, it's so like ridiculous to watch now. Cuba Gooding Jr. in Radio is definitely kind of like, it's like a way more, it seems, I've never seen Radio, but it seems like a way more genuine approach of that type of what Sean Penn was trying to do, or something. You've seen, like, I've seen other actors do that in a different way, but if you watch I Am Sam, you'll know why that scene is so funny if you watch I Am Sam too. I think it's on Tubi. We were going through Tubi, and I was really amazed at how many movies are actually on there. Movies that you wouldn't expect, like good stuff. Like No Country for Old Men was on there. I was like, what the fuck is that doing on there, and how? But yeah, what else? The kid that plays the main antagonist of the, I think they're not actually in Vietnam. They're in like Myanmar or like Laos area or whatever. But either way, when the main kid that is shooting the RPG and just like is the main villain, like the boss of like that whole all the heroin, like they basically are thrown into the jungle to see what it was like being in Vietnam, and end up stumbling across like an actual heroin manufacturing plant with like all these people from Laos or Myanmar, whatever, Asian territory that they're in. And anyway, what I'm trying to say is the main kid in that is so fucking good. They hired like the perfect kid. Like anytime I see not only a villain that's like portrayed so well, but like if a younger actor is able to play that and pull it off so well. I don't know if he's actually smoking a real cigar, cigarette, whatever he was smoking. I don't know if he was really smoking it, but the way he like threw that on the ground, and like the way that they really the way Ben Stiller like directed it, and just the way that the movie feels is it's like such a good satire of Hollywood and how stupid actors, like how silly actors can be. It's like that and Team America are very like in that same they're in that same area of as far as like the kind of movie that it is and the commentary that it has on certain people like that. But Tropic Thunder is this is a classic. There's a reason I bought, like, this was one of the very first movies. This is one of the very first movies that came to mind when I started getting physical media, because this is a classic as far as like they will never, though this kind of movie will probably never ever get made again. And it was at like the tail end of the 2000s when this type of shit was still, pretty much like not only acceptable, but like people wanted things to be like funny and crazy and just pure comedy, which is again the inappropriate nature of all of it, and the jokes that it is making is why it is funny, as well as why it is like it's actually like it actually handles those things in a tasteful way. I think I don't think that any of those like types, I don't think any of the jokes that it's saying are really as offensive as the media potentially. I'm curious to look up like how the media portrayed it at the time, or if it was like, I'm pretty sure I remember it being like a bit like really questionable at the time too. So yeah, they probably won't ever make anything like that again in my lifetime, or at least not for a very long time if they do. And well, I don't know if they'll pull it off as well as they did, because all these people, I mean, it's not only got like such a crazy large cast of like Bill Hader before he was who he is now, it was like Superbad, and then this was like all, maybe Pineapple Express around this time is where everyone started to know Bill Hader from, as well as SNL, but this was before his, Barry and being a huge movie star, making, really becoming a household name. I didn't know who Bill Hader was when I watched this at the time that it came out. Funny story too, when I watched it in theaters, I think I was with my mom and maybe somebody else, and my mom was like confused at the beginning. I'll never forget the memory I have watching this in the theater itself with her, and just how confused she was with the movie trailers in the beginning of the movie. She was just like, what is this? Or is this the movie, or are these like still the trailers? Because she was confused as to why all of their names were not their names. Why it's like whatever, Jeff Portnoy as instead of Jack Black, or I think it was just hilarious as fuck to me at the time. Or not even, I didn't realize, it's a lot funnier now as an adult looking back at it. I didn't think, but I will never forget about that when it comes with this movie, when it comes to having certain memories, and certain movie experiences. I just, because they do the trailers in the beginning, the trailers take themselves so seriously, or they're presented so well that they do feel like real movie trailers. But yeah, every bit of what this movie is trying to do they hit the mark. Like every bit of this hits the mark really well, and it's just funny. It's and all the whether you're offended by it or not, all of the potentially offensive humor is handled in actually a really smart way, and it handles it in a smart way without taking away from what makes it funny too. So I think that's what I really admire. That I admire that they were able to pull this off and didn't like you could tell they really were meticulous when it came to how they were approaching these things. I think that's why I admire it so much. It feels like the writing and a lot of the stuff they were saying, or a lot of the jokes they were trying to make, was very meticulously approached and all very, very intentional and had a point to it. So yeah, Tropic Thunder is amazing. This is very. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't talk today. This is an amazing movie. It's late. It's almost 4 a.m. now. This is a solid comedy that if you haven't seen this, or you're looking to scratch an itch that most movies probably can't, or just not even comedy movies that this is a movie in its own, this is in a league of its own as far as like actual good production and action sequences and good comedy all in one. This is a solid package of just like, if you're looking for action comedies, I don't know if it gets better than this, honestly.